Hey, so I guess that this is an update video. I hope that it doesn't get too rambly, which I have been known to do on occasion. So if it does, I apologize sincerely. But I just wanted to update because it has been about a month on T for me, and admittedly, a lot of the inspiration for this video came from Carson, postgender. Um, Posted a video which I watched last night called Thoughts on Detransitioning. And that video is very personal to Carson, and obviously our experiences are very different because we're two different people. But I think that a lot of what Carson talks about really hit the nail on the head for me with regards to a lot of the anxiety and conflicted feelings I've been having towards hormones. And in the video, Carson talks about not passing and feeling uncomfortable in male spaces, male locker rooms, etc. And also talks about being genderqueer and never identifying fully as male, and how that makes the transition process more complicated. And I felt like a lot of that really summed up some of the conflicting feelings that I've been having about hormones. Yeah, so I've been on T for about a month now. I'm on a pretty low dose, so not really all that much has changed physically, but like mentally and emotionally, I guess, everything just feels more intense. Like when I'm hungry, I'm hungrier. When I'm angry, I'm angrier. And when I'm horny, I'm hornier. And I've been feeling really good about the way that my body feels on hormones. Yeah, which I guess is like, I just feel better in general, which is not surprising because considering over the past few months I was really in the onset of a paralyzing depression. And now I just feel like I'm excited, and I'm excited for life, and I'm happy, and I have more energy, and I'm just more engaged in what's going on around me and with my friends, and that all feels great. But there's also been some things that I've been having difficulty reconciling, which I'll get into, mainly being like my gender expression and also my gender identity. So I guess to start, like, I have been trying to deal with the fact that I've noticed that there's a pretty distinct gulf between my experience and how I embody my gender from those of like other people, from like FMs or other people on hormones. I've never been a very masculine person, and I've been starting to identify as femme, and trying to figure out what that means for me. But it means that when I'm hanging out with other trans masculine people, or a lot of cis men, there's definitely a difference in the way we talk and our mannerisms, and how we present our gender, which is very complicated. And the other thing that I'm having difficulty with is that I still don't identify as F to M, and I feel like when you tell people that you're on hormones, they make a lot of assumptions about the way that you identify, and it kind of gives me this sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. I almost feel like an imposter. you know, and identifying as genderqueer, non-binary. I really identify more as non-binary, as not really male or female or man or woman or whatever. And having that identity was um, fundamental in my coming out process and coming to terms with myself and meeting other people who identified or experienced their gender in ways that are similar to mine. Really helped me to come to terms with myself and feel legitimate and validated and real, um, and being in hormones, it feels different. I feel like I'm living in like F to M land, and I also feel like I know very few people in real life and on the internet who are non-binary, who decide to take hormones or want to have surgery, um, or even talk about the sort of like complicated relationship that they have, you know, to gender and to medical transition. Because I feel like it is more complicated than if I had a sort of clear-cut binary identity. And so when Carson talks about not feeling fully male, I mean that pretty much sums up my biggest fear, right? I mean, I suppose that in the back of my head, I just hope that, if I'm on T long enough, I'll just feel like a doodly dude, and that'll be that. But I don't think that I'll ever feel fully comfortable in any gender, or in any gender that is coherent to the people around me. And so, and it's complex, because I feel like my gender is complex, and it's difficult to try to reconcile all of that with physical transition, especially because at the end of the day, we have to live in this world, right? And we can talk about our identities until the end of time. People can self-identify however they want, and I think that there's a lot of power in that. But it doesn't change the fact that we have to live in this world that is sexist, and transphobic, and that's gonna place identities on us, and we have to learn how to navigate that. And that's the point where I struggle, and I think I'll always struggle with it. I just have to figure out how to get to a place where, I feel good, in my body. I hope one day I will feel good in my body, and also feel good with the way that the world sees me. So, yeah. And I'm just putting this video out there because, over the past few weeks I've been doing a lot of YouTube and Google searches for like genderqueer and testosterone, and really haven't been finding anything that's of any comfort to me. So I hope that maybe this video will be comforting to someone else, or someone else will be able to find resonance with it. But that being said, I don't check my YouTube very often. I think because I really don't like watching videos of me talking. But you're welcome to leave feedback or contact me. Yeah, so that's all. Good night.